What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, where today I'm going to be going over movies from the year 2006. Whether they are good, whether they are bad, we're going to rank them from letters S all the way to F. So there's a bunch of stuff I haven't seen, as always. Lots of stuff that kind of shocking to me that I haven't watched. I own a lot of these movies, I just haven't seen them. Blood Diamond, Black Christmas, Deck the Halls, Clerks 2, Inside Man, Marie Antoinette. It's just like a lot of stuff. Da Vinci Code, Departed, Devil Wears Prada. Those are three big ones right there. The Omen. It's just so much. And I just haven't gotten around to them. So, hey, sorry. I was a little kid when this year happened. So there's going to be a lot of little kids movies. So let's start it off with the most unchildlike movie probably in the entire ranking, 300. And I'm going to put it in like B. Guys, I know 300 is like this phenomenal movie or whatever. I don't love action. Action, I've said it every single ranking video. Action is not my strong suit. So when an action movie is in my B, it's probably really good, and I'm just an asshole. That's like, I'm being completely honest with you guys. Moving on, Aquamarine. So this movie, in retrospect, is not that great. Like, I'd probably say B to C tier, but growing up with this movie and having my little sister who loved this movie, and I mean loved, to the point where you watched it every single night for 2 straight years. This movie really grew on me, and I'm putting it in S tier. I'm sorry, but it is a guilty pleasure of mine, and I'm sorry, but like growing up, these three women, they were fantastic actresses. Emma Roberts, she was from Unfabulous on Nickelodeon. I have no idea what else JoJo is in. I think she's just a musician. And then, what's her name? Sarah Paxton? Is that her name? I can't even remember her name. I think that's it. But, like, she was in the 4th Halloween Town movie, which was a Disney Channel movie. I loved everything about it. Arthur and the Invisibles. I don't love this movie. Alright? I saw it when I was a little kid. I watched it again maybe last year. I have it on DVD. It's not my favorite. It's very much mid, in my opinion. Barnyard the movie, guys. This is a B tier movie. If we were ranking Nickelodeon shows, it'd be S tier. The show was incredible. The movie isn't really something I watched a whole lot, and the movie is not really something I love, but the TV show Back at the Barnyard was beautiful. It was wonderful. But Beer Fest, this is another one. I'm putting it in B tier. It's good. It's just not like it's not my favorite thing in the world. I know the guys from Broken Lizard comedy group made it, but I prefer Super Troopers all the way, rather than Beer Fest. Up next, we've got Big Mama's House 2, and unlike the first one, this is just like, yeah. So I'm putting it in C. It's not the greatest thing in the world. Borat, fucking S tier. Borat is incredible. He's very nice. Borat is one of a kind. Beautiful, wonderful. Cars is like A tier in my opinion. Came out kind of at the best time for my childhood, and I love it. You know what I mean? There's some great stuff to it. It's just, as I've gotten older, I don't care for it as much as Borat or Aquamarine, because those hold a, Borat's funny now. Aquamarine was something I cherished as a child. Cars was never either of those. It's kind of just, it exists and it is good. It's just not incredible. Charlotte's Web. I'm going to put this in mid tier. I don't really care much for it. Click. Click is A tier for sure. This movie makes me cry every goddamn time I watch it. I don't care how old I am, I'm crying. I'm crying at some point in time. Curious George, mid tier, not anything special. Date Movie, F tier, horrible movie. Dougal, E tier, little bit better than Date Movie, but it's not good. This movie right here, 8 Below, is so good. So there was a couple videos ago, there was a husky dog movie. It was called Snow Dogs, and it had Cuba Gooding Jr. This is the movie I thought that Snow Dogs was. This movie is A tier. fantastic movie. I haven't seen it in a long time. That's why it's A tier and not S tier. But I remember this movie being so freaking good. It's not even funny. D tier. Isn't this everyone's hero? It's either everyone's or everybody's hero. I saw it once. I don't remember it being incredible. Mid tier. Failure to launch. Mid tier. Final Destination 3, where the franchise started to become. Did I say become? Become mid tier. Flushed Away has so much like odd history with me. Like I remember the slugs just singing, and I remember the frogs doing some weird Charlie's Angel spy stuff, and it was just B tier. We're gonna put it in B tier because I remember so much to the point where I might just go watch that movie after this. So yeah. Garfield, A Tale of Two Kitties. B tier. It's not as good as the original, but it's still decent. Happily Never After. E tier. I hate that movie. Happy Feet. It's been a long time, but I remember it being good. B tier, I think. How to Eat Fried Worms. Guys, this movie is B tier. This is good. I mean, lots of great stuff. I haven't seen How to Eat Fried Worms in a couple years, but Ice Age 2, The Meltdown, S tier, 100%. I'm sorry, but this movie might have been probably the defining children's movie of 2006. I remember this movie coming out and being like, yo, The Meltdown? I was like, they're all gonna die! And it was great. It was a fantastic movie. We get, is this Always Know What You Did Last Summer? Yeah. I'll always know what you... Ooh, I zoomed in horribly there. All right, hold on. Okay. I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer is an F-tier movie. It's horrible. Man of the Year, I really enjoyed this movie. I'm going to put it in A tier. Real close to S tier. Monster House is S tier for me. This movie, I remember this being one of the first, like, scary movies where I could watch it and not be terrified. And even that's not true. Mr. Nevercracker was, like, kind of terrifying, all right? And every time at the end of the movie where he's telling the story about his wife being in the concrete, that terrifies me. That terrifies me as a child. That was so scary. Like, I know that sounds super dumb and silly, but it was scary. What do you want from me? I was a kid. But fantastic movie. Nacho Libre, I saw this for the first time ever, literally, like, the second or third day of this year. I have it's weird, but I have like this thing where I write down every single movie I watch with the date. I don't know why. It's something I started doing this year. I just wanted to see how many movies I could watch in 1 year. Nacho Libre is very mid. I'm sorry, but like maybe it's just because I didn't watch it when it first came out. Like it's just not like the tone isn't there. Maybe it's the day I watched it, but to me it's just not very good. Like I don't understand where people come from. However, Night at the Museum is S tier because I watched this year as well, and I loved it. I loved every second of it. It's S tier when you're sitting in your room and you're looking at all your movies. I have physical media like DVDs, Blu-rays, and I'm looking around at all of them. I have so many of them, and I'm just like, what do I want to watch? Like there's so many things I own that I haven't watched. There's so many things I own that I have watched, and it's like the sun shined in through the window and presented me with Larry Daly and Night at the Museum, you know what I mean? And I was just like, you know what? I could go for that. I could go for some Ben Stiller, Robin Williams, Owen Wilson, just mwah. I could do that. I could go for some of that. And that's S tier. Open Season, I remember being like B tier. It was never like my favorite thing in the world. I remember renting it on DVD as a kid, from my library, but I don't ever remember it being like this standout movie. Over the Hedge, though, this movie, I would put in A tier. This one I do remember a lot. Like I remember getting this from my cousin, when I was little. Like, they didn't want it anymore, like the DVD. And so I took it and I watched it and I loved it. And I watched it to the point where it stopped working. Like, there weren't scratches. I just think I burned the disc, like, to the point where it wouldn't register. And so I had to buy a Blu-ray. And now I watch the Blu-ray when I want to watch this movie. So this movie, I really do. I think I just love the animation style. I mean, it's DreamWorks. I don't know what's so special about it, but I really loved it. Is this, what, Dead Man's Chest for Pirates of the Caribbean? Yeah, okay. Dead Man's Chest. This is I'd say an A tier movie. I really loved the second Pirates of the Caribbean movie. It starts to get bad after the second, but Poseidon, I don't love this movie. I'm putting it in C tier. RV, this is C tier. Santa Claus 3, I don't care what you think of me. It's C tier. It's the worst Santa Claus movie, by far. Saw 3, this is when they started getting worse, but it's still a B tier. Scary Movie 4, D tier. Snakes on a Plane, C tier. Superman Returns, B tier. Talladega Nights, this is probably one of my favorite comedies of Will Ferrell's. A tier for Talladega Nights. I mean, if you ain't first, you're last, right? Ricky Bobby. You got that. You got Shake and Bake. I mean, this movie is full of some great stuff. It is probably one of my favorite comedies of the year. Obviously, we've got some better stuff in there. I mean, comedies, children's movies, they're riddled in the S and the A tier right now. But there's some good ones. There's some sneaky ones up here, I feel. But we got, what is it? Texas Chainsaw: The Beginning, E tier. I don't like that movie at all. The Ant Bully is probably the most mid-tier movie I've ever watched in the history of mid-tier movies. I can't stand The Ant Bully. I have that on DVD just because it comes in an old It came in an old Blockbuster DVD case that I found at a thrift store, and I was like, yo, it's Blockbuster. And that's literally the only reason I own it, because I wanted the case. The Benchwarmers, mid-tier. Mid-tier as hell. The Black Dahlia. I just watched The Black Dahlia for the first time ever, and guys, it is a D-tier movie. Like, it's got really good casting. It's got really good decor, but the story is so slow and so off-putting and so tiring. And then it's just like, I don't care. I don't give a crap. By the end of the movie, you're just like, end already. I'm so glad it's over. And I sat there for like it's like 2 hours long. I sat there for a full thing, and I was so bored. And D tier for sure. At least Scary Movie 4 is like stupid entertainment. The Black Dahlia isn't. It's not. It really isn't. Butterfly Effect 2 is mid-tier. The first one was really, really good. Second one is meh. And then I think there's a third one. Eesh, I don't know. Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift. I would put this in B tier. I enjoyed Tokyo Drift. A lot of people don't. The Grudge 2, D tier. Can't stand The Grudge 2. The Hills Have Eyes. This is A tier. I feel like this was one of those horror movies of this year that was just like wonderful, fantastic. Like there's all these crappy ones, you know, all these crappy ones with Always Know What You Did Last Summer, Chainsaw New Beginning, Grudge 2. Those are all crap. Final Destination 3 is all right, like it's mid, but like Hills Have Eyes was just all right. The Holiday, which is something I watch every single year, usually on like December 31st, just because the movie's about like the new year or whatever, Christmas and then the new year. I really love this movie. I think I'm gonna put it in S tier. Like, it really is a great movie. A hell of a cast. Jude Law, Cameron Diaz, Kate Winslet, Jack Black. Stellar casting. I mean, they were all huge at the time. The Lake House. This is A tier. Fantastic romance movie from the year 2006, obviously. I remember watching this on DVD, and my DVD actually froze at one point, and it froze for like, it was like I lost a minute of that movie, and it wasn't a very like super integral part of the film, but like I was so pissed, and I have to go and buy the Blu-ray, like an updated version of The Lake House. I got the movie for free anyways, but I'm pissed that it like lags for that 1 minute. It freezes. But fantastic movie otherwise. Pink Panther is, I feel like the first one's at least B tier. They get worse. The second one was bad. Pursuit of Happiness is, in my opinion, B tier. Shaggy Dog is the most fucking mid movie I've ever watched in my life. And The Wild, again, mid tier. I mean, that's the end right there, mid tier. And you can see that this was very much the year of mid tier. B and C are filled to the brim with mid tier stuff. We have, you know, a couple F's, couple E's, couple D's, but, you know, we got massive amounts here in C, massive amounts here in B. A, I feel, is like a good mixture, and S is, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 films? If there's only 6 movies that you can consider S tier in 1 year, I think that's pretty good. I mean, there might be, I mean, who knows? Maybe my mind will change over time. Maybe these movies will go down or these movies will go up, and that's the great thing about movies is your mind never ever is 100% going to be the same all the time. 20 years from now, maybe I've watched Night at the Museum so much that I can't stand to look at Ben Stiller, and I'm just like, get the fuck down to C, you know? But for now, S tier. S tier. So that's all I've got for you guys today. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I enjoy doing these tier videos all the time. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment what you think of my tier. If you think I'm wrong, if you think I'm right. What's your favorite movie from the year 2006? But hey, anyways, guys, I'll see you in the next one where I obviously do a tier list of 2007's movies. I'll see you then.